Now, we've talked about how when you fall in love with art and how it moves you and it motivates you. And I also want to clarify one thing that I did say in the previous video in regards to when a child has been abused or a person has been abused, or and that, you know, hurt people hurt. I'm speaking in a general state and of some instances. Not all people react that way, because if a person's been hurt but they've been loved and they've had somebody to try to correct those wrong behaviors that has been forced upon them before they even wanted to, or even, you know, just it's been forced on them, especially the innocent child that knows nothing about any of that stuff, and it's been forced on them. But when they have, you know, someone that comes in and love them and show them the right way to love, the natural way to love, the correct way to love, the appropriate way of loving someone, I don't think that they act out by hurting another person. Sometimes those people, I seem to think, become more of protectors. They are always trying to save somebody or protect somebody from feeling the hurt that they felt. They don't want them to hurt the way that they've been hurt before. So when you fall in love with this art, it's one thing that people don't really talk about, or I don't know if it's a way to put it in words, but to me, I call it like, it's almost like you fall out of love with the art, or you've been betrayed by the art. Not so much of the art, but the people in the industry of the art. In this particular community, the copycats, the people who take the purest form of someone's work, someone that sculpted with needles or their fingers, their hands, and they molded this sculpt into what it is that we fall in love with in the form of a baby, as in, you know, a vinyl or a silicone or whatever it may be. You have these other people that come in and they steal it and they copy it and they duplicate it, and to me it taints the art. It takes away from the art. Just as well as, for me, I don't rate life casting the same as I do hand sculpting, because to me life casting is just a fancy way of copying. You're copying a form of a baby, or whatever that you're life casting. It's a copy. It's not hand sculpted. It's not every nook and cranny has been put into that baby from the sculptor. So it, to me, has no value to me. But that's just in my opinion. Sometimes we build trust in people because we want to believe that people are like ourselves, and we want to believe that they are good and that everything in the world is good, but it's not. And we know that it's not, because we have scammer pages and we have PayPal claims and all these things that we know of. So we know that everybody is not trustworthy, but yet we try to continue to trust people. And sometimes the very people that you trust the most is the ones that hurt you more than anybody. You know, a lot of people in this community, we talk about first market, second market. You know, first market, you're buying directly from the artists themselves, directly from the seller, the person who, you know, made this piece of art. Second market is this doll, this baby doll, this silicone or vinyl has been owned by one or two or three different people, but it did not come directly from the owner. So second market, you buy, and this is where you really have to trust, because you don't know how it's been handled, how it's been taken care of, and in most cases, the real original seller slash artist slash sculptor will not work on something that is flawed, not by themselves or defected by themselves, but by the hands of another artist or another collector. And so we have to trust And oftentimes we are burned with that because people don't disclose the flaws. They don't tell you what's wrong with the doll completely, because all they're thinking about is they just want to get that sale. And then you are burned. And then you get up from that and you say, okay, I'm not going to do that again. But then you see something else and then you want it, and then the price is right and you're so focused on getting that deal. But is it really a deal when you get what you really wanted and you want it for so long and it's not what they said it was going to be? You're burned. And then you're hurt by the person that you thought would be honest with you, but failed to tell you about the flaws. It's all a part of falling out of love with the art. After a while, your heart begins to, where it was soft, begins to harden, and you're tired of that, and you're tired of this. And then it's the people that you trust and you confide in, and you talk about dolly issues and dolly dramas and dolly dilemmas and your dolly wish lists and dolly ideas, and then they betray you by sharing your secrets with your enemies or people that don't like you or just anybody. And then it's thrown in your face and it's like you're burned again. And it's pushing you further and further away from the art, and you're falling out of love with the art. But are you really falling out of love with the art? Because this is where I get confused. Am I falling out of love with the art, or am I falling out of love with the people? Am I falling out of love with the industry? Am I falling out of love with the backstabbers, connivers, the jealousy, the hate that's spewed amongst the community? Because why? Because we're jealous and we're competing for what? Did I miss the announcement of some award at the end of the road? Is it a race? Is somebody gonna get awarded something for having what they may think is the best top doll? Well, in my opinion, there you go again. In my opinion, what you may think is your best may not be the best to others. I have experienced what I feel is the best, but then someone else may think it's the worst. Funny how that works. You mean to tell me that I spent $10,000 on this doll, but you think it's the worst, it's not the best? Yes, because what I see and what you see may be very different, my dear. May be very different. And a lot of people don't agree with me, and a lot of people are saying, why is Serenity making all these crazy videos and she's sounding all like she's spazzing out? Is she going crazy? Is she losing her mind? But no. I'm just telling you, in my opinion, the community is becoming something that's so vile, so vicious, so competitive, and the love of the art is being lost. And I have found myself falling deeper and deeper in love with the art, but I've fallen so far out of love with the people, with the industry, with the community. And this is why you hear people spaz out and say, I'm leaving this community. I don't want to be a part of this community. I hate this community. I'm never going to do another video because they are tired and boggled down with the hurt, the baggage, the distrust, the lies, the scams, the real bullies. Because see, everybody that yells and say that they are bullies are not really bullies. A lot of times the bully always claims to be bullied. Why? I wonder why. And then we will stand beside them and cheer them on because they're the first person to tell their story and cry wolf. And because we don't hear from the person that's really in a corner, balled up in a knot, crying because their feelings have been hurt and lies have been spewed against them, but yet they're too afraid, too shallow, too timid to come out and speak and have a voice, because they know if they do, everybody else is going to jump on them because they're not the most popular and the most vocal, so they stay quiet. And the bully, well, they win. They always win. I don't know about you guys, but when I first came to this hobby, I saw so much love and caring and sharing, and maybe I was just blind. They say love is blind, right? Maybe I was just blinded by the beauty of the dolls and the art that I didn't see, the competitiveness, and maybe because I was new and I hadn't grown and I didn't have a big as of audience, and maybe people just let me be in my own world and I just walked with blinders on, and maybe I was living in my head that this industry was the one industry that was without all the other hatred and everything else that goes along with the real world. So maybe I thought I had escaped it, and it was there all the time, but I just couldn't see it. I just couldn't feel it because it hadn't reached me yet. But now when other people, in their opinion, feel that I've made it higher up to the top, when in my opinion, I'm still the same person as I was when I started with 0 subscribers. 1 subscriber, 2 subscribers, 100, 500. I still feel like I'm still that same person. And maybe I've changed and I just don't realize it. I know that it's just inevitable that we all are going to change to a certain extent or another. But I don't think that my principles and my values have changed since I started this hobby. I think I am still the same person that I've always been. I've always wanted to do right by people and do good and be honest and trustworthy. But maybe I've changed and became more vocal than I used to be. And maybe that's what people hate about me. But I think that since other people start viewing me a little differently, now I'm seeing more of what the industry really, really, really comes with. And it's not just love and caring and sharing. It's hatred, it's jealousy, it's racism, it's competitiveness. So when you hear someone saying that they want to leave, and I know that it's annoying because they don't go, it's because they're torn in between the love of the art and the hate of the people. You know what I mean? Like, you love the art, you love the hobby, you love the good, but you just can't swallow the bad. And it's just like you're torn, you're being pulled from one end to the next, and you just, I don't know, you want to stay, but you want to go. You want to just collect in peace. So I stopped judging people for going back and forth with their emotions, and maybe they post it because they want someone to stop them. Yeah, maybe they want someone to make sense of it all for them. But you know, sometimes people do fall out of love with the hobby. I don't know that if you're really passionate about art that you'll ever fall out of love with art, because you know, I see love differently than a lot of people. I think that once you love someone, you always love them. It never changes. That never goes away. You may not be in love or, you know, as active, but the love of the art is always going to plague your mind and draw you in, even when you don't want to admit it. So here I am making all these crazy videos for you guys and spilling out my raw emotions to you guys. And yeah, but guys, if you didn't know, this is Lim by Bonnie Brown sitting here, and my little boy that's waiting for hair. He's such a gorgeous little boy. I don't know if I can get close enough. I'm trying to see if I can get close enough to him, but he's absolutely gorgeous. His details is amazing. I did a fabulous job on him, and I'm going to toot my own horn today. Thanks for watching, guys. Until the next time. Falling in and out of love with art. Something to think about, huh?